Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am so sorry that I have been absent for so long. Honestly, as a very small YouTuber, I was really honored to receive some messages from people that were like, where'd you go? We moved. I mentioned that in YouTube videos a month or two ago, and it's just like so overwhelming just trying to get your life back in order after you move. And it ultimately is a really good thing, and we're so happy that we did, but trying to get everything all together. Anyway, thanks for reaching out if you did, and hopefully we are back for a while, especially because it is my favorite time of year. I have two favorite times of year, Planner Release 1 and Planner Release 2. And Planner Release 1 is coming out right now, where all of the academic planners are on shelves, usually in April, May, and then they start being able to be used June, July, August for the school year. So I'm really excited to see everything that's out right now. All of the major planner brands have released things, lots of things on shelves at Target. But today I want to talk to you about the benefits of having a gigantic wall calendar in your house. It's kind of big, and I'm not going to stand up, but you see that? You get the idea. All right, so what prompted me to purchase this gigantic wall calendar? Well, for one thing, I do still love my planner. I'm obsessed with it. I do not foresee me stopping and using my Plum planner, although I will say that when it's time to reorder, I am gonna think about a different weekly layout, but that's neither here nor there for this video. But I have been working from home for a very long time now, since the pandemic, and I recently started a new work from home job. So I am like here in my house. When we moved, we wound up with a very tiny pocket office, which I'd never heard of before, but it's basically a 7x7, very tiny office with a built-in desk. And I decided, because I'm in there a lot, that I wanted a big wall calendar. So I want to tell you all of the positives to having something like this in your home. The first thing that I love about this is that everybody in your family can see it. So this could go in your office, it could go in an area, I mean, maybe you wouldn't want something that's this big in a really obvious space, but it could go in your pantry, it could go in a small office, it could go in if you have an entryway area, it can really go anywhere. And to be honest, this black and gray color is really nice. They sell it in like red, I think maybe green, purple, some other options on Amazon. And I will, side note, say that what originally made me want this is that you know that I like to look at Emily Ley products, and Emily Ley sells a $14 digital download of a, I believe it's this size, 36x24 calendar at a glance a year. And in the description, it's like, yeah, print this yourself. First you have to download it, then send it to Office Depot, then go buy a frame, then frame it, then hang it. And I was like, when you think of your capacity for doing things, like maybe in 2023, I will be able to do that. But I was like, I just like the idea of going to a Staples or Home Depot to print something right now is just like, I don't know, am I being dramatic? You can tell me in the comments below if I'm being dramatic. I won't take offense to it, but I was like, I do not freaking want to do that. I don't. So I wish she would sell, I think it's great because it's $14 for 6 digital downloads of the 2022 calendar. And I think that's totally worth it price-wise, but for the hassle, like I'm just not doing this. This came in the mail, laminated, and it is perfect. So how did I feel like I digress. I don't know how I got here, but basically I really wanted that one, and I just didn't have the capacity to deal with all of the steps involved. So I found this one, and I just love the idea of having this in a common area for your whole family to see. It's definitely got enough space to be able to write in, especially if you were to get a fine point Sharpie or if you were to get a fine point dry erase marker. I think that you could definitely fit whatever you wanted on here in terms of, you know, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, trips, anything like that. So I think this is a great one-stop shop for your house if you need something to keep your entire family organized. The next thing that I love about this, I keep like a sheet. The next thing that I love about this is that you can use a lot of different materials on this. So let's say you have people coming into town. I did a whole thing about using washi tape, and I really like that idea. You could put washi tape on here, and because it's laminated, you could peel it off if you need to. You can put Post-its on here. If there's something that's definite that's going to happen, you can use Sharpie, and if you're not sure if it's gonna happen, it's tentative, you can use dry erase. So there are lots of things that you could do on here. I like the idea of putting payday stickers on there, or just like really anything you want. Now this calendar, this particular brand, again, it's on Amazon, and I'll link it below. It comes with a lot of holidays, but I wish that two things. One, I wish that there were more holidays. It doesn't have Juneteenth, it doesn't have Hanukkah. There's like a couple other things that I would really like to have on here. And the other thing is that I feel like they're in like a bright red, which is like a really particular thing, but I kind of wish they were in like a blue or purple or even like an emerald green. The red almost feels like a warning color to me, like warning, it's Mother's Day or something. And I don't know, it like stands out kind of like in a like not like nice aesthetic way. I don't like it. Anyway, I know I'm rambling, and it's totally not a deal breaker. But if I were in charge of this, I would change the color and I would add more holidays. And that's something that I absolutely love about my Plum Planner. You can add a bunch of different holidays. So that's something that's important to me, not a deal breaker, but I would change that about this one. The next thing that I like about this calendar, this is particular to this calendar, is if you look at the individual boxes, which by the way, I feel like are definitely big enough to write in. Oh, and how did I forget one of the neatest things about this? This is front and back. So you have a vertical option to display that way, so 3 months across, or you can do the horizontal where it's 4 months across. So whatever fits best in your space, I really like that. What's really cool about this is if you look at the box, you'll notice some numbers below the date. It tells you of 365, what day is it? And then next to it, it tells you how many days you have left in 2022. Now, that's not something that would be something I'd be searching for when I look for a planner or a calendar, but I do like this, especially if you're setting goals. It kind of gives you a little reminder, like looking at August, you're like, oh, there's 150 days left on August 3rd. Something that is nice to have at a glance, because if you're setting goals and you want to know how much time you have left between now and the end of the year, it's just a helpful tidbit. So I think that that's cool that that's included on here. And lastly, my favorite thing about this, the best thing about having a calendar this big, and the main reason I got this is because I wanted to make sure as we get into the holidays and the end of the year, we're not overbooked. And here's what happens. Let me know if this happens to you, because it happens to me every year. You're like, oh yes, you know what? I'm free that one weekend. Oh, you know what? No, we don't have plans that night. We can do it. And it's because you look at maybe your phone. If you manage your calendar that way, you're looking at your phone, or maybe you're looking at your planner and you're looking at a week at a time, or even a month at a time. And before you know it, the end of the year feels so stressful between all the fall things that are going on, back to school, you go into Thanksgiving, then right into the other end of your holidays, then it's the new year, and it just feels like it always goes so fast. And I'm not saying that I want to put a limit on number of activities or things that I'll do, but I don't want to feel exhausted. And I felt like having something like this allows you to see, okay, I am putting that on the calendar, we're doing that this weekend. Well, that means that maybe we wanna leave next weekend open so we can do holiday shopping. Or, you know, maybe you notice you have everything booked for a full week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. You don't wanna do that. So my main reason for getting this is so that I could put stickers, markers, color coding, and just make sure that for the rest of the year, I am feeling organized, not overwhelmed, stressed, especially as we start getting into the holidays. And you might be like, how are we getting into the holidays? Well, let me just tell you something. Before you know it, you blink and pumpkins are out. And I am not kidding you. I bet you, we will see pumpkins on shelves in the next 6 weeks, which I am so excited for, because if you remember, I live in Florida and in 6 weeks I will be hot and cranky. Anyway, sorry, I don't know where I was going with that, but you get the idea. There are a lot of things that happen, especially once summer comes and then it feels like the end of the year flies. I always feel like spring is the longest season, the slowest season, not in a bad way, but it just is. And then summer has its own pace. And then from September to December, you blink and it's over. So let me know if you agree with that, because I just think time moves differently in the fall. I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's just something I've noticed. So I really wanted this. I love it. I don't know if next year I will have it in me to do the big Emily Lay one, but I do want to do that one because it's so pretty. I'll have to see actually if she's going to sell one for 2023, because I'm going to have to see if that's even an option. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in getting one of these calendars, you'll have to let me know. Or if you already have one, if you have any tips or ideas of things that I haven't done with this calendar and you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.